Alright, welcome back everybody to another project video on Azure Virtual Desktop Bicep code. So next up we're going to be creating an application group, which is a group of applications that a workspace will be using. So let's go and create this over here. Let's do application groups dot bicep. I'm going to maximize this over here. I'm going to start off by naming the resource, which is going to be application group. And then we know that it's part of the desktop virtualization API. Okay, looks like we got that right. Let's use the latest one unless we need to use something otherwise. And then we need the typical stuff like param, location, string, param, tags, object, param, application, group, name. This is a really simple one. We'll just need the friendly name, which is basically the name of the host pool. Kind of like the title. And then we're going to need the host pool ID. Which we're going to get from the other output of the host pool ID. And then this one, since we are using a desktop, we can either hard code it or make it a default over here. I always like to be flexible and use parameters. So we're going to call it application group type. And then I didn't use correct camel casing. And then I like to use outputs as much as I can. Application group name string. Oh, there you are. I put 3 P's. Okay, and now we can use the output of host pool just need these 3. Probably don't need this, and you'll see why in a second. call the module over here, application groups. Going to do some string interpolation. Location. Alright, it doesn't need that just yet. Scope, resource group name. Now we can use the params. We don't need this, but we will need this. So remember, we got the output of the host pool over here, so now we can call the host pool saying, hey, we need something from here, and then we need the outputs from there, and now we can get the host pool ID, and then it's tied to that parameter. Let's put the basic stuff over here. Location is location. Application group type. Let's see what we have over here. Alright. Let's make this a default because it's going to typically be the same thing every time. So we're going to call it desktop. We're using a desktop tool, but we can use remote app or desktop. So let's say if we wanted to use something like calculator as an example, which we can do here in a moment as a test. That's typically how people set up these labs for something like a remote app published. So now we can just save this here, and this should stop yelling at us. Alright, we do need tags. And then we can do, we don't need to do a depends on here because this is an implicit depends on. We're basically saying, hey, we need the output of here, and it's not going to be able to compile until this is completed because we need that ID. And that's it for today for the application group.